Step number one, if you want to start your ATM business, this is step number one. Okay, the first step is to form your LLC. Now, start by registering your business as an LLC to protect your personal assets and make your business official. You can file through your state website, or you can use online services like LegalZoom or Intafile. I've never heard of that one, but I never used that one, I should say. The one I used personally when I started my business a few years ago was Zen Business. Now, they're really good. They take care of everything. Now, technically, so when you file for your LLC, you can get the LLC form that's incorporated, whatever you put the name as, and then you get an EIN number. And basically, your EIN number is a social security number, but for your business. So think of it that way. That's the best way to say it. So but you can file your LLC and not the EIN number. And I'm not 100% sure because I did everything through Zen Business because it's just objectively easier. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little more expensive, but it's a little easier too. You know, with paperwork and stuff like that, depending on your state. Some states are lenient, some states are more strict. I live in New Jersey, so Jersey, whatever. So depending on your state is how you want to do it. It's up to you. The EIN technically you can get for free from like the government website. I've never done that, so if that's something you want to do, you can do that section for free. Then still form your LLC with whatever online service you're going to use. And to have the LLC, you need it for the ATM business. There are a lot of businesses you can run for like even maybe a few months, even maybe a few years, where you don't need an LLC because you're not making enough money yet, and tax purposes, stuff like that. You can just do it using your social security number or be a sole proprietor or contractor, whatever, subcontractor, I think it is, and you don't need an LLC. But for the ATM business, you absolutely need an LLC. You cannot do anything. You cannot buy an ATM. You cannot find processing. You cannot do anything unless you have an LLC. ATMs are very federally regulated, so you need to have the LLC. That's step number one, no matter what. Okay, now step number two, and this is a tough one, is opening up a business bank account. Now, after forming your LLC, open a dedicated business checking account. This will be used for your ATM transactions and keep your business finances separate from your personal money. Okay, so there's a lot to this stuff. It's not just going to you can't go to a big bank and open up a bank account. It has to be a brick and mortar bank. It either has to be a local bank or a like a federal credit union, which would be local to you. But so whatever state you're in, whatever bank, no Wells Fargo, no Bank of America, no Chase. I've said this in previous videos, but it's something you cannot do. I had one bank for a year. They shut me down. It took me 2 weeks to find one. They shut me down in 30 days. I was sweating. And now I have this bank account for I think 2 years now. They've been really good to me. They're great. So whatever state you live in, you have to find a local bank. And now here's the thing as well. Let's say you find a bank XYZ, right? Bank XYZ is willing to work with you with an ATM bank account. It has to be specifically for that. Now, you go for that, you need to have two accounts, one for your subcharge and the second one for your Volt Cash. So let's say your total Volt Cash is $1,000, right? Just to make it simple. You have $1,000 going in, your ATM, you put $1,000 in physically, the physical cash in your ATM. Someone takes out $100, you charge $3. The $3 going into one account, the $100 is going back to the account. You have $900 in ATM, 100 in your account, and then 3 in the subcharge account. Does that make sense? I think if you need, comment if you don't understand that, but that's basically two accounts for the ATM. Now, obviously, when you get more ATMs, each ATM will be still wired to that account. So let's say you have 2 ATMs. Let's say you have 10 ATMs. Let's say as an example, they do a few transactions a day. All the subcharges from all those ATMs are going to go to one account, and all the Volt Cash it's going to be separated. So the 100, it could be 103, it could be 203. Whatever that subcharge is, it'll know to be separated, and that's how it's worked out. Now, I have step 3 is to get your EIN. Now, okay, so I did write it down here. I didn't remember at first, but I did write it down. You can get it from the IRS website. You can get it for free. And I did write down, this acts like your business social security number and is required for tax and banking purposes. So, but like I said earlier in the video, if you form your LLC with I did Zen Business as an example, they'll get your LLC and your EIN. But technically the EIN is free from the IRS website. I'm assuming they charge you for that. I'll be honest, I really don't remember. I'll be honest with you. So, we'll keep going. We'll keep going from there. I could talk about that in depth in a different video. Let's see. So number 4, it is choose your ATM processor. So basically what the processor is like, you say like a middleman, and they process all the transactions. Like it's not like you used ATM and the bank knows that it's your bank. There used to be like a middleman to say, okay, it's this debit card, this transaction number, whatever it is, this person, you, obviously, if I'm using the ATM, and they know how much they verify the funds is in the account, they charge the account, gives out the cash, charge the account, and then it goes from there. That's basically what they do. So the one I use, well, actually I use two processing companies right now. I use Switch Commerce and I use PAI. Another one is CDS. I've never used them, so I can't talk about them, but PAI and Switch Commerce, they're both really good. I haven't had any problems. Every once in a while, they can go down for maintenance or something like that, but no outages, rarely. And if it is, it's short. It's not like I've been down weeks at a time and ATMs are down. It's never happened to any of them. I would say if I had a preference, I like Switch Commerce a little better because the way they organize the transactions and your ATMs and the terminals like that, it's a little more easier. PI is very in-depth too. They're very good. I feel like it's not as user-friendly, in my opinion, but they're just as good. So you have to sign up for one of those. Very easy. You can do that. Okay, so step number 5 I have here is buy your ATM machine. So you want to purchase a reliable ATM from an authorized distributor. Look for an EMV compliant machines with wireless communication options for easy setup. Now, for your first ATM, I recommend you always buy new. Until you know everything, like in the back of your head, like what's going on with, because like I said, ATM is very federally regulated, and it's got to have certain things for people with disabilities. It's got to read the chip. It's got to have certain features, right? And I don't even know all of them, I'll be honest. So I always buy brand new. Now, I'm responsible for like 6 ATMs. So I'm not really going to buy. The last ATM I bought in May was brand new, but I'm probably going to stop buying. I'm going to start buying used because I know ATMs, sometimes you can get good deals, whatever. But I think for your first ATM, you should definitely buy new. So you're just going to learn the business, and it's one less thing to worry about. And when you're buying an ATM brand new, whether it's Gen Mega or Hyosung, was like the top 2, I think it's like really the only 2 brands I buy. I recommend you, either or is really good. They're actually both really good machines. I like the software of the Hyosung a little bit better, but they're both really good. What was I going to say? I recommend you buy new because when you buy a brand new ATM, it comes with a 2-year manufacturer's warranty. So if anything happens to the machine, you're good for 2 years. So at least you buy the machine, you're solid for 2 years. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe after that. I bought 4 brand new ones, and now I'll probably buy used. So like it's up to you, but I highly recommend you don't buy used one. Don't buy a super old machine. Buy brand new for your first. That's the best way you want to go. So now step number 6, I have find a profitable location. So I wrote something here, whatever. My best location is a nail salon. My probably second best is a laundromat. I think nail salons and laundromats are the best. I'll say something right now. A lot of people, I learned this the hard way a few times. Smoke shops, trash. There could be some. I've never heard anyone in the groups I'm in a couple different ATM groups on Facebook, and I'll tell you right now, I want to fix this. The smoke shops are trash. They're absolutely trash. I'll be honest with you. I've had 2 or 3. I think I had 3, and they were trash. I'm sorry. Don't do smoke shops. Nightclubs could be good. Obviously, like gentlemen's clubs, lounges, stuff like that. The issue is it's a double-edged sword because I'm assuming most people don't have 10, 20, 30 grand to put in an ATM. So if you're like at a gentleman's club and can you put 10, 20 grand, you find a location like that, most of them already have an ATM, so it's even more hard. But if you do find one, you gotta have the cash to back that up because people are gonna be using it. So keep that in mind too. Like I would argue, you want to find like a moderate location that's doing like, if you have a location that's like anywhere from 50 to 100 transactions, 50 is on the lower end, it's probably worth keeping because it's still a numbers game at the end of the day. But what I wrote down here is scout high traffic areas like convenience stores, barbershops, or nightclubs. There are more cash-based transactions. Wait, what? The more cash-based transactions the business does, the more the ATM won. Yes, so high traffic I think is a number 1 contributor for ATMs because some people just like to carry cash on them. A little tip, a little thing I always get. A lot of people ask me, like if I meet people, talk to people, I was like, oh, why do you need ATMs? People don't carry cash. But that's the point. A lot of people think, oh, people don't need cash because of the digital age, I believe it's like 25% of Americans in the United States still only use cash. So that's just a little big amount. There's money to be made. and they're projecting the ATM business to grow up more, not less. But the issue is that if you don't have cash, you're like, okay, where's the closest ATM? It might not be your bank. So it's usually these random ATMs that you see, and it's an operator, independent operator like myself. I don't know what that was. Anyways, okay, so this is something, I'll be honest, I don't personally do it because I'm a man of my word. I like the verbal agreements, but I highly recommend it, and I think I'm gonna start doing it myself. It's a draft a location agreement. Now, this is something I'm gonna work on too. I think I might get my own agreement that's a little more simple. And I wrote here, step number 7, always have a written agreement with the business owner. This can include a fat fee or revenue split, for example, 70-30 in your favor, that protects both sides and keep things professional. So there's 2 things here. You don't always have to do a split. I have, the locations I don't give any split to the owner. That's like a last resort. I try not to as least as possible, because at the end of the day, you're buying the ATM, you're setting up everything, you're doing all this work to have the ATM ready, and I have to pay you 50 cents or $1. Like, it's a last resort, and this is assuming, like, if you have a location doing over 100 transactions a month consistently, yeah, you can buy, give 50 cents and not feel it. Even make $1 and not feel it. Like, I think you'll be okay. But any less than that, my minimum is 100 transactions. If it's doing less than that, it can do 80 consistently, I'm gonna give you a cut. Like that, and I'll keep it there. But I'm gonna give you a cut, and I have that conversation with the barbershop owner not too long ago, and it is what it is. Like, you're a businessman, I'm a businessman. Most of the time, people understand. Some people are like, oh, they want to cut so bad. And I'll be honest with you, if they're really on top of like, oh, I want 50%, oh, I want $1, like, no matter what, you're probably better off not having that location. If you want to try it out for 3 months, let's try it out, see how it goes. Sure, a trial period is always good, but I lost my train of thought. But yes, location agreement. The I've heard of stories. A real quick side note of I forget what happened. The ATM owner had a business. I think they ran out of business, if I'm not mistaken. This was a few years ago. I heard the story. Ran out of business, and the ATM was his. He tried to take it out, and they couldn't. And the new business owner didn't allow them. It was under construction. It was sitting there collecting dust. But since he had a contract written up, I think he had to take it to civil court, something along those matters, and he was able to take it out because it showed that the ATM was his. And this was the location agreement. So it can be important to have a location agreement. I highly recommend it. The locations I haven't done it, I'll be honest, but you should. Okay. So step number 8, set up processing and load cash. Once your ATM is installed, connect it to your processor. Now, so let's say I get PAI as my processor. There are certain things you need to do to match that ATM with that processor. There's a certain, it's not a hard process, but it's like setting up Wi-Fi almost on the ATM. Not really, but it kind of is. You're just setting up signing up for the thing. You have to put in certain numbers, certain codes, certain IP addresses, so it signs up with that process. That's basically what the whole process is. And then, and you want to load up with startup cash, anywhere between 2 and 5,000. You can do 1,000. A lot of the times, the locations I have, unless I know it's a different location or something out of the ordinary, I only start with 1,000. You don't need to put more than what you want. Especially, you just don't know. I mean, listen, you want to put 2,000? Put 2,000. Put 5, I don't care. But I usually start with 1,000, sometimes 2. But anywhere from 2 to 5 is good. It's a good range. And you want to refill weekly or bi-weekly, depending on the usage. So the more you put in, the less you have to go. So if you have a location right around the corner, put 1,000 in. Who cares? But if it's like an hour away, you might want to put more if you have the cash too, so you're not driving there as much. So after everything's good, okay, so we're step number 9. So you want to test your machine. So what I mean by this, once everything's connected with the processor, everything's entering correctly, all the information, you want to test it and just do a balance inquiry. Once you do a balance inquiry and you see, like, you print it out, you see it up on the screen, your account balance, everything's good. That means everything is good. So run a few transactions. You actually just do one. It's fine. Make sure everything's working. Check receipts, deposits, and confirm that funds are transferred correctly from your business account. And once you get your first real transaction, you'll see it go through. And as long as all the account numbers and routing numbers match up, there shouldn't be an issue. That would be like really the only problem. And for step number 10, I have is scale your business. So basically, just buying more ATMs. Once your ATM is up making money, maybe it's making $50 to $300 a month, $200 a month, whatever. You're like, okay, now I'm trying not to, but I've used my own money to just scale and buy more ATMs. That's just how it is. Like, the chance that you find your first location is making $500 a month, $1,000 a month, is very, very low. Right, I think it's $1,000 called like the Golden Goose, because it's like, it really happens, unless like a gentleman's club, a lounge, maybe, sure. But, yeah, scale your business. I wrote here, the key to real passive income is volume. More machines, more transactions, more income. Which is true. I've made more money now because I have more machines and I'm responsible for other machines that I vault. And that's it. So what I'm reading, if you're curious, this is my 10-step starter checklist. So, like, it's free. It's on my stand store. And this is something you can check out if you're curious. Maybe you're just curious, you like to read stuff and you want to know about the HC, a little bit more knowledgeable, or you really want to start your own ATM business. And that's something I've been teaching because I like it. I think most people could start this. Even if you have a couple ATMs or get some extra money, like let's say you decide to buy 2 ATMs and they're both making $100, $200 each. I mean, yeah, you're not making your money back for a couple years, but then after that, ATMs last 5 to 10 years, depending, and you can make that money back, and it's just a little bit of money, and you like it, and you grow, and there's other stuff you can do. I'll talk about it in another video. So if you like this video, please comment, subscribe, ask any questions in the comments. That'd be great. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, check out my stand store. If you're really, really, really serious about starting an ATM business, I do coaching calls, and also the coaching cost is $50 for 30 minutes. If you want to do that, if you're really interested, 30 minutes, it sounds like a short time, but you can get a lot done. Come with questions. I'll ask you some questions to start out with, and then we'll go from there. So, like, this is like the starter checklist. If you're curious, you can probably start your business just by this checklist alone. I'll be honest. But if you really want that, then we'll go from there.